Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we get into today's video, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and if you have, make sure you turn on your notification to always stay updated. Today we're stepping into one of Britain's most elegant and historic traditions, a place where royal pageantry, sporting excellence, and centuries of history come together in spectacular fashion. Royal Ascot 2026 once again reminded the world why the British royal family remains one of the most recognizable institutions on earth. From the moment the royal procession rolled onto the racecourse to the final races of the week, the event showcased not only style and celebration, but also continuity, duty, and a remarkable connection between the monarchy and the British people. Join us as we explore the fascinating stories, traditions, and personalities that made this year's Royal Ascot another unforgettable chapter in royal history. The opening day of Royal Ascot 2026 began with one of the most anticipated moments in the British social calendar, the royal procession. As the open landau carriages made their way through the racecourse, thousands of spectators paused to witness a tradition that has endured for generations. At the center of the procession were King Charles III and Queen Camilla, accompanied by the 9th Duke and Duchess of Wellington. The sight was both majestic and familiar, blending royal ceremony with national heritage. In an age dominated by rapid change and digital distractions, there is something remarkably powerful about traditions that continue to unite people across generations. The royal procession serves as a reminder that some customs endure not because they are old, but because they continue to inspire. The King and Queen's appearance reflected stability, confidence, and a commitment to preserving the ceremonial traditions that have become part of Britain's identity. One of the most remarkable aspects of Royal Ascot 2026 was the continued presence of the Duke of Wellington alongside King Charles III in the lead carriage of the royal procession. To many spectators, it may have appeared to be simply another ceremonial detail in a day filled with tradition and pageantry. Yet behind that moment lies a story that stretches back more than 2 centuries and reveals how the British monarchy has preserved its connections to history through carefully maintained customs. While many institutions have changed dramatically or disappeared altogether over the years, certain traditions remain because they symbolize values that continue to resonate across generations. The origins of this particular tradition can be traced to the aftermath of the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, one of the most significant military victories in British history. The Duke of Wellington emerged from that conflict as a national hero, admired not only for his military leadership, but also for the sense of stability he brought during a period of uncertainty in Europe. His reputation extended far beyond Britain, and his name became synonymous with service, duty, and dedication to the nation. When King George IV sought to establish a grand royal arrival at Ascot in 1825, inviting the Duke of Wellington to ride beside him was both a gesture of respect and a powerful symbol of unity between the crown and one of the country's most celebrated figures. What makes the story particularly fascinating is that the invitation did not end with the first Duke. Instead, it evolved into a tradition passed down through generations. Successive Dukes of Wellington continued to take part in the royal procession, creating an unbroken link between modern Britain and one of the defining chapters of its history. As a result, when the current Duke rode alongside King Charles III in 2026, he was participating in a tradition that his predecessors had honored for nearly 200 years. Few public ceremonies anywhere in the world can claim such a direct and visible connection to events that shaped the course of history. For the monarchy, traditions like this serve an important purpose. They help transform history from something distant and abstract into something people can actually see and experience. Visitors attending Royal Ascot are not merely watching a horse racing event. They are witnessing customs that have survived wars, political changes, economic upheavals, and enormous social transformation. The presence of the Duke of Wellington in the royal procession reminds observers that the monarchy often acts as a bridge between generations, preserving stories and relationships that might otherwise fade from public memory. King Charles has frequently spoken about the importance of heritage and stewardship, and the Wellington tradition fits naturally within that broader philosophy. Rather than viewing history as something frozen in time, the monarchy presents it as a living inheritance. Each generation receives certain responsibilities and passes them forward to the next. The annual appearance of the Duke of Wellington at Royal Ascot is a small but meaningful example of that principle in action. It demonstrates how customs can endure not because they are required, but because they continue to carry significance for those who participate in them. The tradition also highlights an often overlooked strength of the British monarchy, its ability to build continuity through relationships. While much attention is understandably focused on kings, queens, princes and princesses, the monarchy's story has always involved a wider network of families, institutions and individuals who have contributed to national life. The long-standing connection between the Crown and the Wellington family reflects a broader pattern of partnership that has helped sustain the monarchy through changing times. These relationships provide a sense of stability and continuity that many people find reassuring in an increasingly fast-moving world. As the lead carriage made its way around Ascot Racecourse in 2026, most spectators were undoubtedly enjoying the spectacle of the occasion. Yet that procession represented much more than elegance and ceremony. It served as a reminder that history is often preserved through traditions that appear simple on the surface, but carry deep meaning beneath. The enduring bond between the monarchy and the Dukes of Wellington illustrates how the royal family continues to honour the past, while moving confidently into the future. In a world where so much changes from one generation to the next, there is something remarkable about a tradition that has remained intact for 2 centuries, quietly connecting modern Britain with the people and events that helped shape its identity. To understand why Royal Ascot continues to attract worldwide attention, it is important to recognise that the event represents far more than a week of horse racing. At its heart, Royal Ascot is a celebration of continuity, tradition, and national heritage. For more than 3 centuries, it has brought together members of the royal family, racing enthusiasts, international visitors, and the wider public in a uniquely British gathering that combines sport, culture, and ceremony. Few events illustrate the enduring relationship between the monarchy and the nation quite as clearly as Royal Ascot. The story begins in 1711 when Queen Anne identified a stretch of open heathland near Windsor as an ideal location for horse racing. What started as a relatively modest sporting venture gradually developed into one of the world's most prestigious racing events. Over the centuries, successive monarchs supported and expanded the meeting, helping it evolve into a fixture of the British social and sporting calendar. The continued involvement of the royal family has given the event a sense of permanence that few other sporting occasions can match. One reason Royal Ascot remains so successful is that it brings together multiple generations under a shared tradition. Grandparents who attended decades ago can often describe experiences that are surprisingly similar to those enjoyed by visitors today. The royal procession, the carefully maintained dress codes, the presentation of trophies, and the gathering in the royal box all create a sense of familiarity and continuity. While modern technology and contemporary tastes have influenced aspects of the event, its essential character remains intact. That balance between tradition and adaptation mirrors the challenge faced by the monarchy itself. Throughout history, the British monarchy has survived because it has shown an ability to evolve without losing sight of its core identity. Royal Ascot offers a practical example of that approach. Visitors arrive from around the world, bringing diverse backgrounds and perspectives, yet they participate in customs that have been observed for generations. The event remains relevant not because it resists change entirely, but because it carefully preserves the traditions that give it meaning while welcoming new audiences and fresh perspectives. For King Charles III, Royal Ascot also reflects one of his long-standing interests, the preservation of heritage. Throughout his public life, he has spoken about the importance of protecting historical institutions, landscapes, architecture, and cultural traditions. Events like Royal Ascot demonstrate how heritage can remain active and vibrant, rather than simply being preserved as a museum piece. The traditions are not locked away behind glass, they are lived and experienced by hundreds of thousands of people every year. The royal procession itself illustrates this point perfectly. As the King and Queen travel through the racecourse in traditional carriages, they participate in a ceremony that has become one of the defining images of Royal Ascot. Yet the significance of the procession goes beyond visual spectacle. It creates a direct connection between the royal family and the public. Spectators gather not only to watch a ceremonial arrival, but also to share in a tradition that has become part of the nation's cultural fabric. These moments of public engagement help explain why royal events continue to attract such widespread interest. Another important aspect of Royal Ascot is its contribution to Britain's international image. The event is followed by audiences across the globe, many of whom associate it with qualities such as elegance, tradition, and excellence. The royal family plays a central role in maintaining that reputation. Their presence helps elevate the occasion from a major sporting event to a global cultural showcase. The combination of world-class racing, historic ceremony, and royal participation creates an atmosphere that is difficult to replicate anywhere else. The event also demonstrates the monarchy's ability to unite different aspects of national life. Royal Ascot brings together sport, fashion, agriculture, tourism, business, and philanthropy within a single setting. It highlights industries and traditions that contribute significantly to British culture and the economy. The Crown's support of these activities reinforces the monarchy's broader role as a symbol of national continuity and public service. Perhaps most importantly, Royal Ascot reminds people that traditions can still have value in the modern world. In an era characterized by rapid technological change and constant news cycles, there is something reassuring about ceremonies and customs that have endured for generations. They provide a sense of connection to the past while offering a framework for the future. The monarchy's participation in Royal Ascot helps preserve that connection, ensuring that important traditions remain meaningful and accessible to new generations. As Royal Ascot 2026 unfolded, it became clear once again why the event occupies such a special place in British life. It is not simply a celebration of racing or fashion, nor is it merely a royal engagement. It is a living expression of history, continuity, and shared national identity. Through its support of events like Royal Ascot, the royal family continues to demonstrate how tradition and modernity can coexist, creating experiences that honor the past while remaining relevant in the present. That enduring balance remains one of the monarchy's most distinctive strengths, and one of the reasons Royal Ascot continues to capture the imagination of people around the world. One of the most talked about aspects of Royal Ascot 2026 was not a race result, a fashion statement, or even a royal procession. Instead, it was the appearance of a relatively new face within the extended royal circle: Harriet Sperling. While Royal Ascot has always been a gathering place for established members of the royal family and long-standing friends of the Crown, this year's event offered a glimpse of how the monarchy continues to evolve through the people who become part of its wider family network. Harriet Sperling attended the event alongside her husband Peter Phillips, the son of Princess Anne and the eldest grandchild of the late Queen Elizabeth II. Although Peter Phillips is not a working royal and does not carry a royal title, he remains a respected and familiar figure at major family events. His presence at Royal Ascot reflects the close-knit nature of the royal family, where official duties and personal family relationships often overlap. This year, however, much of the public interest centered on Harriet and the positive impression she made during one of the most closely watched weeks of the British social calendar. What has particularly resonated with many observers is Harriet's professional background. Unlike public figures who enter royal circles from entertainment or celebrity industries, Harriet has built her career in healthcare. As a senior pediatric nurse specializing in child development, she represents a profession that is widely respected across the United Kingdom. Her work reflects values that have long been associated with public service: compassion, commitment, responsibility, and care for others. These qualities align closely with the ideals that many people hope to see reflected within those connected to the monarchy. Royal Ascot provided an opportunity for the public to see Harriet participating comfortably in an environment filled with tradition and protocol. She appeared poised and confident without seeking the spotlight. That balance is often appreciated within royal circles, where attention is typically directed toward the institution rather than any one individual. Observers noted that she seemed at ease among family members while maintaining a natural and approachable presence. In many ways, this quiet confidence helped her make a positive impression. The reception she received also highlighted an important aspect of the modern monarchy. While royal traditions remain deeply rooted in history, the people who become part of the royal family increasingly come from a wide variety of professional and personal backgrounds. This evolution helps ensure that the institution remains connected to contemporary society. Individuals like Harriet bring experiences and perspectives shaped by everyday professional life, helping bridge the gap between historic tradition and modern Britain. There is also something significant about the public's response to someone whose accomplishments are based on service rather than fame. In recent years, many discussions surrounding the royal family have focused on headlines, controversies, and personal disputes. Harriet's arrival offered a different narrative, one centered on professional achievement, family values, and public contribution. Her career in healthcare speaks to a broader tradition within the royal family of supporting and recognizing those who dedicate themselves to serving others. Throughout Royal Ascot, family connections were clearly visible. Members of different generations gathered in the royal box, shared conversations, and participated in one of Britain's most celebrated annual events. Harriet's inclusion within these gatherings symbolized the natural process through which families grow and change over time. Every generation introduces new personalities, experiences, and relationships, contributing to the continued evolution of the family while preserving its core identity. Her appearance also reinforced one of the monarchy's enduring strengths: adaptability. The royal family has remained relevant through centuries of social change largely because it has been able to welcome new individuals who bring fresh perspectives while respecting established traditions. Harriet's participation at Royal Ascot reflected that balance. She represented a modern professional woman while embracing the customs and ceremonial atmosphere that make the event unique. Fashion naturally played a role in the attention she received, as Royal Ascot is famous for its elegance and dress standards. Her choice of a sophisticated ice blue ensemble was widely admired and demonstrated an understanding of the event's traditions without appearing overly elaborate. The look complemented the occasion perfectly, reflecting both refinement and confidence. Yet what seemed to leave the strongest impression was not the outfit itself, but the composure and authenticity with which she carried herself throughout the day. Ultimately, Harriet Sperling's appearance at Royal Ascot 2026 was about more than fashion or public curiosity. It served as a reminder that the royal family continues to evolve through the people who join its extended circle. Her presence highlighted qualities that many people value deeply: dedication to public service, professionalism, humility, and family commitment. As the monarchy moves forward under King Charles III, figures like Harriet help demonstrate that tradition and modernity are not opposing forces. Instead, they can work together to ensure that one of the world's oldest institutions remains connected to the society it serves. In that sense, Royal Ascot 2026 was not only a celebration of history and heritage, but also a glimpse into the future. New faces such as Harriet Sperling may not hold official royal roles, yet they contribute to the broader story of a family that continues to adapt, grow, and connect with the public. Her warm reception during the event suggested that many observers see in her the qualities that have long helped sustain the monarchy: service, dignity, and a genuine commitment to others. Royal Ascot is often associated with grand hats, fine fashion, and elite sporting competition, but at its heart, it is also a family occasion. Throughout the week, spectators saw members of the royal family sharing conversations, enjoying races, and spending time together in the royal box. These moments matter because they reveal the human side of an institution that is often viewed through the lens of ceremony and state occasions. Queen Camilla's interactions with her children, including Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopez, offered glimpses of family warmth that resonated with many observers. Such moments help explain why royal events continue to attract worldwide attention. Beyond the crowns and titles are individuals sharing experiences familiar to families everywhere: pride, laughter, conversation, and celebration. These human connections help bridge the gap between tradition and modern life. As Royal Ascot 2026 drew to a close, it left behind more than memorable races and spectacular fashion. It demonstrated the enduring appeal of institutions that connect the past, present, and future. King Charles and Queen Camilla presided over an event that showcased Britain's cultural heritage at its finest. The centuries-old traditions, the historic procession, the gathering of family members, and the celebration of excellence all contributed to a powerful message about continuity and national identity. The monarchy's ability to preserve these traditions while remaining relevant in a rapidly changing world is one reason it continues to command global fascination. Royal Ascot reminds us that history is not confined to museums or textbooks. Sometimes it rides past us in a landau carriage, carried forward by those entrusted with preserving it for future generations. For supporters of the royal family, Royal Ascot 2026 was a vivid demonstration that tradition, service, and continuity remain as important today as they were centuries ago. Thank you for joining us for this look at Royal Ascot 2026 and the enduring traditions of the British royal family. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with fellow royal watchers. Until next time, we'll continue exploring the people, history, and events that shape one of the world's most fascinating royal institutions. Goodbye for now.